Okay, ladies and gentlemen, in this video I'm going to show you how to use the full automation tool. So just a reminder before I go into how to use the tool, it is a combination of a lot of the different functions that you see here. So full automation combines the AI analyzer with the outreach, including the email finder, the hyper personalization, and the cold email outreach. Okay, so to take advantage of this one-stop shop that will do all your sourcing for you in outreach, you need to subscribe. It's just $59 a month, but if you do that, all these separate functions that you needed to be doing individually with the free license version that I provide, you can do it with just one click of a button with full automation. So I highly encourage you to sign up, and I'll show you exactly why in this video. Okay, so there's a couple of different ways you can use the full automation. For people that like to do their shortlisting themselves, or may want to use the AI Analyzer tool to get a really good shortlist of profiles to action, you can use the use input file. Okay, so for architects, I already had a look. There was 5 that I really liked. You could use that option, and it will just directly do the outreach to those 5 candidates. Okay, there's no AI analyzing. You essentially tell it who to do the outreach, and you can decide what outreach methods you want. You don't have to use all of them. All right, but let's just assume you want to use the AI tool. You want to tell it how many profiles on LinkedIn you want it to crawl. So maybe you want to look at 100 or 50 profiles or 25 profiles, whatever you like. Maximum outreach. So for the purpose of the demo, let's keep that low. Let's just do 5. And auto pause at 3. Okay, so what this means, it's going to search and find 10 relevant profiles in your Boolean search. It's going to reach out to a maximum of 5 candidates only. Okay, so if it qualifies and does an outreach, that qualifies as one. And auto pause, that's really good if you, for example, want to not hit LinkedIn and exhaust your daily limits immediately. You might want to do, say, auto pause at 3, do a couple in the morning, and then click resume later in the afternoon to break it up. Okay, or you can break it up throughout the week, however you like it. Next, if you're using the AI Analyzer tool, you need to sign up to either ChatGPT or DeepSeek and input your token and get some credits. Once you've done that, you can choose either model that you have. For the purpose of the demonstration, I'm going to use ChatGPT 4o, only because it's a lot faster. Okay, so when it's looking at a profile, it will usually make a decision under 20 seconds, usually quicker. DeepSeek is way cheaper. I think 1/10, or some of the models like the budget DeepSeek is like maybe 1/20th of a ChatGPT 4o. Now that could change in the future. It's a lot cheaper. It's slower, okay, so it takes a lot more time. The other thing is, it's not as literal. Now, that can be a good thing or a bad thing. It's just a matter of taste at the end of the day, okay? So if your hiring manager is very specific with what they want, stick to the ChatGPT 4o model. If there's limited candidates on there and the manager's a bit flexible, maybe DeepSeek is better for you anyway, and it'll be better for your wallet as well. Next, what we're going to do is feed the agent the information about the role that we're looking for, okay? So over here, we're looking for a civil architect, and I provided a short summary of the job description here. Now, all that information is great, but we're very literal in what it is we want for a qualified prospect, okay? So I don't want to do outreach to anyone unless they tick all 3 of these boxes. And you can make it 5 boxes or 4 boxes, whatever you want, or make it less. But for the purpose of the demo, I've got 3. So my hiring manager, he wants an architect with at least 2 years experience. They've got to have a graduate degree or higher, and they have to have worked specifically on design projects. Okay, although it's a remote role, he doesn't want anyone based overseas. So that's really important. All right, now we get to the fun stuff, which is the outreach. So, what it will basically do is crawl the different profiles and qualify or disqualify them. If they qualify, you get to select which outreach methods that you want. Okay, so in this case, I'm just going to use all 4 of them. We've got LinkedIn invitations with the note. Okay, so let's just say I didn't select that. You'll notice something changed here, and that's because the template disappeared. If you're going to send an invitation with a note, you'll need to put in a template here. We have some basic personalization using the placeholders, so I encourage you to use those. But very quickly, this one here, it says, hi, first name, my client's looking for a Sydney-based architect to work in a fully remote role, 180K base, plus super, plus bonus potential. Please accept my invite if you're interested. That's a LinkedIn invitation. InMail and email are going to be essentially the same message. However, they're going to be using the hyper-personalization through the extension. Okay, so I've got a separate video on the extension. I won't spend too much time on it, but please make sure that you have aligned the campaign in the extension with the role you're recruiting in the agent, okay? Because otherwise, if the last time you used the extension was a physio in Singapore and you're doing an outreach campaign now for architects in Sydney, they're going to get some very interesting messages to say the least, okay? So make sure they align. Just a quick sneak peek if someone hasn't used the extension yet. Essentially, you go over here to the extensions, you pin it, and once it's pinned, you can access it and create different campaigns, all right? So I created one here. It's an AI-driven message, just to show you the information. So it's a civil architect role. I'm using the Australian type of English. I got my name, the recruitment agency I'm working for, the role title, and some basic information about the role. And the AI is going to use that to write a bespoke, personalized message to get you more replies because it's more engaging. Okay. So if you're going to be using the InMail or emails, again, if you select these, you'll need to put a title. Okay. So this is the title if they get an email or an InMail from me. And just remember, for an InMail, you can only do these if you have a premium LinkedIn account and credits. Okay, so if you're using Sales Nav or LinkedIn Recruiter or Recruiter Lite, you will need um, the proper LinkedIn license to do that. Likewise with the notes, I think you can, with a free LinkedIn license, send notes, but I think you're limited to about 5 a month. Okay, so if you're a serious recruiter, you'll probably invest in a premium license of some sort. And SMS. Okay, so SMS, we're going to be using Twilio. If you're going to use SMS, you need a Twilio account and you need to put your credentials here so it can charge your account. Likewise, if you're going to be using cold email outreach, you'll need to put your Gmail credentials here. Just a note on the credentials, while it's got the Gmail address here, the app password is not the regular password you use to log into your Gmail. Setting up an app password is a separate process that you can do on any Gmail account. I won't talk you through here how to do it, but I'll provide a link and a video from someone else who can explain that to you. It only takes a couple minutes. But that's the credential that you need to put in order to do the cold email outreach. If you don't have Gmail and you've only got Outlook, unfortunately, we don't support Microsoft with a full automation. You won't be able to do the cold email outreach as part of full automation, but you can do it separately as a separate outreach through this function over here, which I'll have a separate video about. Okay, minimum maximum delays. So again, new accounts, try and keep these numbers high and use the slow typing option. For veteran accounts that do a lot of automation, or if you're just going to do less than a dozen for the day, don't be afraid to keep these numbers low. All right, good. So next we're going to click Open Chrome. I've already got it up and running in the background, but you want to make sure you click that again so that it syncs with the agent. Okay. All right, cool. Once you get this message, you're ready to rock and roll. So we're going to click Start. Sum of qualifying questions must be 100. All right, so these numbers must be some dodgy maths. Okay, 125, 25. Doesn't make sense. That should be 50. All right, good. So that's a good reminder. If something is incorrect, the bot or agent will let you know, and you can go and correct it. All right, so again, here is just a warning. Again, if you're using full automation, please check out my blog article here about warming up your account. It will give you an idea of how many LinkedIn outreach you can use, how often you can use it, and how to avoid getting your account suspended. So let's click yes. All right. So what it's basically done is it's gone through and collected 10 URLs. Okay, and the reason it's collected 10 URLs is because we asked it to. All right. The first one is Snigdha. The criteria here: she's got to have at least 2 years experience, a degree, and worked on design projects. So it's going to go straight to her experience section. So it's going to copy all the information here. Then it's going to navigate over to the experience section any second now. And it's going to, what we call pass. So passing is a fancy word for copying. It's going to place this somewhere on your PC in a folder where your LinkedIn Recruiter folder sits, and it's going to use that and feed it into the AI so that the AI can then make a decision based on that information on whether or not they qualify. Okay, so now you can see it disqualified her relatively quickly, so she didn't hit one of these criteria. Next, we got Somi. All right, so it's going to, again, it's on her profile right now. It's going to navigate over to the experience section. Going to collect the profile data and pass that information. And now it's sent it over to AI. Okay, great. So it's qualified. So that means she hits all 3 of these different criteria, and based in Australia. So you can see now the different outreach. So firstly, it's gone to, it doesn't do them in sequential order. It looks like it starts with email. Okay, so it's gone over to email. It's pinged Apollo. Apollo is a database of email addresses, and it's fed the LinkedIn URL of Somi, and it's found an email address for her. So what it's going to do now is generate a personalized message. Okay, so it does that through the extension. So you can see it's pinging the extension, and it's doing that to generate that personalized message, and it will send an email. Good. All right, email's done. Next is the invitations. So it's going to send an invite. So it's done a refresh. It's going to click on more or connect, whichever it's programmed to do. Sometimes this connect button isn't always there. Okay. And it's just going to do, I didn't click the slow typing. If I click slow typing, this would be almost like it was written by a keyboard. Okay. So that's now set. Sweet. All right, good. Now it's going to go over to InMail. So I have Sales Navigator over here, which you can see. It's going to basically go over to Sales Navigator, and it's going to use that hyper-personalized message, which you'll see shortly, and it will send that through as an InMail. The benefit of the multi-channel outreach is some people, for example, might check their emails, but not check their LinkedIn emails. And some people are the opposite, okay? Imagine you send an email to someone and they would read it, but it ends up in their junk folder. It's no use. So this is why I recommend if you've got the credits, if you've got a good premium account, try and use all the different channels, okay? All right, so it's come over here. It's put in the title, and over here is the personalized message. Okay, so you can see here it says she started at Brewster, Civil Architects. What that does is it's basically read her profile. Okay, I'm sure you've received generic messages and things like that. You're very less you're less likely to interact with them. It's a generic spam message. But if something really speaks to your experience and it says, "Hey, you, I can see you started at X company for this many years and you specialize in this and you graduated over there," because it's personalized, you're just more likely to reply to it. So multi-channel outreach is really good. Now it's going to ping Apollo for a phone number. Now this one takes a couple of minutes. Okay, so basically Apollo doesn't have a database of numbers. Instead, it has an algorithm and it searches actively online for someone's number. So it probably searches through a search engine. In this case, no phone number was found. Okay. So that's it. That's the full automation. If it did find a phone number, it would send the text message with the template that we had. But essentially, it's on to the next candidate. Um, and that's pretty much it. So at the end of the day, the way the full automation feature works is it's designed to do all your sourcing for you. Okay, you don't have to look at profiles and look at the job description and make a decision whether or not they're suitable. The AI does that for you. Okay, outreach. You don't have to sit there, look at someone's profile, and write a fancy personalized message to get their attention. It will do that for you. Searching for a phone number of the person, whether it's on their LinkedIn profile or maybe on their company website, or it might be in the equivalent of a yellow or white pages or something like that. The agent will essentially do all that for you. And multi-channel outreach, that message that you might have sent in an email, it will search Apollo and potentially find an email address and do that as well. Okay, so it's essentially doing the same for Andrew over here. Something interesting about the way this works with the max outreach, you'll see here it says 0 out of 5 profiles reached. Now, it actually did hit one candidate that was qualified, but because it couldn't find the phone number, it didn't satisfy all the different outreach methods. Okay, so that technically didn't count as a profile reached. It's a partial reach. Now, I've gotten some feedback from people. Some like it, others don't. Okay, so for example, if someone has got in-mails turned off, so there's a function some people can have where it won't allow recruiters to send them an in-mail. In that case, even though you may have sent an invitation to that person, you may have sent a cold email, you may have sent them an SMS, it won't count as a profile reached. Um, some people agree with it, some people don't. Let me know in the comments section what your thoughts are on it, because if the majority of our customers and clients think that's a good way to qualify someone as a reached profile, I'm very open to changing the rules on that. But this is how it stands at the moment. Um, if you're a little bit more conservative, you can always play around with the max outreach number as well. All right, sweet. Well, that's pretty much the full automation feature. You can run this, you could run it for 100, 200 profiles to crawl every day, hoping you have a warmed up profile if you're doing that many. But otherwise, it does all your sourcing for you. This is a great way to sit back and relax and get some time back in your day. And again, what you decide to do with that time is up to you. If you're a recruitment agency owner, maybe you don't need as many sources and people looking for candidates in your team. So there's a cost saver there. If you're in talent acquisition, for example, this can give you a lot of time back in your day. Next, maybe you're new to recruitment. Maybe just sitting back and watching how this actually recruits is really important. Because a lot of graduate recruiters, they I don't know, jump on LinkedIn and they'll send 100 bulk emails and wonder why no one replies to them. Well, multi-channel outreach, number one. Hyper personalization, number two. These are some really good things that you can learn and copy. And then there's other people, solo recruiters that just work for themselves. Give you back some time in your day, or maybe give you some time to do some more BD, for example, and start to grow your business. Maybe hire some people, or get some more profiles on LinkedIn, and set up some more bots, and drive some real efficiency there. However you want to use your time is up to you, but this is not about replacing recruiters entirely. It's about recruiters and AI working together. Okay, so thank you very much for watching this, and I hope you sign up with the full automation tool. Any feedback, questions, feel free to message us and send us an email through the website, or drop a comment in the YouTube. I'd love to get a discussion going and hear some feedback from not just customers, but potential customers that are interested. Hit me up, and looking forward to hearing from you soon. Happy recruiting.